The front line of the intensive policing of Barfield is Kenny Ross, one-time shot-put champion. He's now the scheme's community bobby.
I have asked them from the top end of the street, I've asked them from the bottom end of the street, and I'm still waiting for a suitable explanation why they fight with each other. They don't like to see each other get into jail, but they can't give me a good reason why they want to fight with each other. They go to the same schools, and then at night they come out and start chasing each other. They'll puff out their puny chests. I think they're a big man.
The gritty streets of Glasgow in the 1970s were witness to a complex and often turbulent subculture, the realm of street gangs. Amidst the backdrop of economic challenges, social upheaval and political changes, Glasgow's youth found themselves drawn to the allure of gang life. This story delves into the dynamics of these gangs, explores their origins, motivations, and the impact on the city during the tumultuous decade. Glasgow in the 1970s faced economic decline, high unemployment rates, and urban decay. The city's working class neighbourhoods bore the brunt of these challenges, providing fertile ground for the emergence of street gangs. The decline of traditional industries, particularly shipbuilding and manufacturing, left a void that was often filled by illicit activities and territorial disputes. Glasgow's gangs of the 1970s were not monolithic entities. Instead, they varied in size, structure and affiliations. Localities such as Bridgeton, Postle Park and Mary Hill became synonymous with gang activity. The motivations behind joining a gang were diverse, ranging from a sense of belonging to economic necessity. Many young people facing limited opportunities turned to the camaraderie of gangs for support and identity. Rivalries often revolved around territorial disputes, with neighbourhoods becoming fiercely defended territories. Symbols and colours were used to mark the gang affiliation, creating a visual representation of the divide. The 1970s saw a surge in violent confrontation between rival gangs. Baseball bats, knives, and sometimes even firearms became tools of the trade in settling disputes. The streets of Glasgow became a battleground where respect and reputation were fiercely contested. Acts of vandalism, robbery, and other criminal activities were not uncommon, further contributing to the gang's infamy. The escalating gang violence prompted responses from both local and national authorities. Police crackdowns, community outreach programs, and efforts to address underlying social economic issues were implemented. However, the effectiveness of these measures varied, and the struggle against gang culture persisted throughout the decade. While the 1970s marked a peak in gang activity in Glasgow, it also laid the groundwork for changes in social policies and community engagement. The challenges faced by the city during this period contributed to a re-evaluation of urban planning, economic strategies, and youth support systems. The legacy of Glasgow's 1970s gangs is a complex one, intertwined with the broader narrative of a city grappling with transformation and social renewal.
You have Stamford Street, that's more or less the main thoroughfare in Barfield, you know. And at the Gallagate end you have what they term themselves as a torch. It's a gang, yeah. And at the bottom end, it's the spur, you call them. And on occasion you get these two, which is only natural as gangs have done through the years. You get them rattling one another. And they'll get them throwing missiles, cans, bottles, what have you, at one another, you know. Well, our house is more or less in no man's land, you know. We're sort of, you know, we were in between it, you know. Not just our house, but other houses, you know, other closes. I went out when they've been doing it, and they haven't bothered me. I mean, this is a personal vendetta between the bottom of the street and the top of the street. Unless either end know you are a member of either faction. The nine times out of 10 they don't bother with you, because I went to the shop when I've been doing it. I've just kept close out the road, and I went down and got bread, cigs, whatever, and came back up the road again.
Just dodged the bricks?
Yeah. I know it's ludicrous to say this, but sometimes it can be funny. You know, you stand and you watch them squealing and bawling at one another, you know. And it can be quite funny at times, as long as nothing untoward has really happened, you know.
Anywhere, just anywhere. Game. Little. Well, right, this is the tap end, right? This is the torch end, right? This is the mob at all rule and all that, right? Down here, that's all the mob, but they all run away and all that, and we go down.
Come up, well, they're game when they come up when we're all waiting. But see, like, say when we're all waiting, they're scampering like wee rats going in holes.
A mile to the east of Glasgow city centre, behind the stands of Celtic football ground, is Barfield, the hardest place to live in a hard city. It's one of the roughest housing schemes in Britain. At first, the police insisted we had their protection to film here. Later, we moved more freely into the Barfield triangle and didn't disappear without trace. But among the 600 or so families here is concentrated a sullen, futile mixture of crime and unemployment, single-parent poverty, and a daily fear of vandalism and violence. But among all the accepted social problems, the clichés of the inner city, there's a dimension of Barfield peculiar to Glasgow. 2 or 3 times a week, families watch from their windows as the Torch and the Spur, successors to the razor gangs of the 60s, turn Stamford Street into what the Scottish papers have billed as Nightmare Alley.
Well, the reason this is called Nightmare Alley was going back about 3-4 years ago. This mob down there called the Spur had come up, right? We were just hitting the hatches and all that. So I was that bad, reading for the Times and the Police, just put in the Monday morning in the Times and the Record. In the Times it was called Mini Chicago, and in a Record it was called Nightmare Alley. So that is why us Torch boys are called the Nightmare Alley.
You say you use hatchets?
That's a swords and everything. Swords,
What kind of swords?
and you've been in a butcher's, you've been in a butcher's getting upon a mince. Well, you got a kid and you blag him. And that's that. Put him down your, you go like this, put him down your juke, put it in, and that's that. You got to wait in and do the milky. Fuck's sake, man.
But you don't use fists?
That's on them. Sick fuck. You don't go to the guys, man. It's a bruise, it goes away. You go like that and that, man. That's it, finished. Scars, man.
So when you're fighting, you're bound to get scars?
That's you under attack. That's you promoted.
Are you proud of the scars you get?
Oh, you don't come proud of that. No, I don't. Well, we've not had much. It's see, if you had to strip them, no, strip that mob down there.
See scars all the bodies.
That's like a map of Scotland.
What's wrong with this scheme?
It's not a scheme, it's the boys that'll fight. That's what it is. Oh, you shut up, that's just what she thinks about it. Saturday night, that's the best, isn't it? You're windy.
Would you go out with a lad who fought in Stamford Street?
No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Because if you went anywhere, they would end up by doing it, and you would end up winning, you know. It's a fight with everybody.
You would end up getting into the fight as well?
Aye, because if you were out with somebody and they get a doing, you would get into an wouldn't you?
If they were done over, you would get done over too?
Shut up, yeah.
So which part of the street are you from? Are you from Spurland or from Torchland?
Spur.
Is the Spur the best?
No, none of them are the best. You need to look round for. None of them are the best.
But most of the Torch and the Spur will end up in the hands of the law, probably on the road to prison. The front line of the intensive policing of Barfield is Kenny Ross, one-time shot put champion. He's now the scheme's community bobby.
I have asked them from the top end of the street, I've asked them from the bottom end of the street, and I'm still waiting for a suitable explanation why they fight with each other. They don't like to see each other getting to jail, but they can't give me a good reason why they want to fight with each other. They go to the same schools, and then at night they come out and start chasing each other. They'll puff out their puny chests. I think they're a big man.
What are you hanging about here for? You live here, but you don't. You get on with your own house. Beat it. Come. Go on. Move.
If you show fear, you can chuck it. You have always got to have that appearance that you're capable of doing the job. You must never show fear. You can hang up your uniform if you show fear. It would just trample you into the ground.
I'd call this a pigeon loft. What do you call it?
A ducat.
Ducat.
Yeah.
How many birds can you keep in here then?
Up to about 20.
So is that a locked inner door as well?
Yeah.
Good Lord. You teach Fort Knox a thing or two here. Can I come up?
Yes.
Well, having come to the top of the loft, we're now going back down into the bowels of it.
Yep.
What's the difference between the two sorts of birds here, Andy?
The difference? Well, the ones up the stair, they go out flying. These ones, they stay in here all the time to sit on top of eggs. You know, so that we could breed them.
Have you any young ones here at the moment?
One of the youngest is this one. That's maybe 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks. But that's about all. That is pretty young.
Yeah. Now, what's the object of the sport? I mean, do you race them, for example?
No. No, the object of it is to catch other people's birds. You know, they put them out and we put one out. And it's more or less just a tackle. They go against each other.
So you let one pigeon off from here and you hope it nicks somebody else's pigeon and brings it back with it?
Exactly. That's it.
Do you notice that these pigeons have individual characters?
Well, they have. They definitely have, especially ones for flying. There's one up there. When you whistle on them, they're supposed to get up and fly. Well, they're supposed to, as I said. But this one, you've got to talk to it to get it up to fly. You know, it's just a wee quirk I've got, you know. Let's see. Come on. Come It's just running about here. You know, what you call showing. It's blowing its chest up.
The rituals of East End living, handed down too from mother to daughter. Colleen Dunbar, dressed as it would have been done half a century ago. Oh, you feel really attractive like that, don't you?
No, I'm here.
Who's made all these for you?
That's it. Over here.
That's you. That's a beautiful lassie. Oh, you're lovely.
I'm going to give them a minute.
Right, a kiss, 50 pence, a pound. That's it. Yeah, we kiss you, but a pound or 50 pence. Right?
Selling kisses in almost pagan rite. Money collected in a chamber pot lined with salt and baby dolls. After the wedding next week, it'll provide £40 or £50 worth of financial security for Colleen in a new home away from Barfield.
What's the deal?
In the aftermath of the ruthless 1970s, Glasgow underwent a process of transformation that not only shaped its physical landscape, but also influenced the social fabric of the city. The legacy of the gangs from that era is woven into the city's collective memory, a reminder of the challenges faced and the resilience demonstrated by both community and the authorities. As the 1980s unfolded, Glasgow saw a shift in focus from punitive measures to more holistic approaches. Community-based initiatives, youth outreach programs, and educational opportunities became key components in addressing the root causes of gang affiliation. The scars left by the battles of the 1970s prompted a re-evaluation of the city's priorities, with an emphasis on creating opportunities for its youth rather than perpetuating cycles of violence. The changes were gradual, and success was measured not just in reduced crime rates, but in the transformation of individuals and communities. The once fragmented neighbourhoods began to mend, as efforts were made to foster understanding and collaboration. Glasgow's resilience became a beacon of hope, illustrating that even in the face of adversity, a city could rise above its challenges. The legacy of the 1970s gangs also served as a cautionary tale, prompting ongoing discussions about the importance of addressing systematic issues such as poverty, unemployment, and social inequality. The scars may still be visible in certain areas, but they are also a testament to the city's determination to learn from the past and build a better future. Today, Glasgow stands as a testament to the transformative power of community engagement and targeted interventions. The scars of the 1970s are part of the city's narrative, a chapter that serves as a reminder of the resilience required to overcome adversity. As Glasgow continues to evolve, the lessons learned from the past will undoubtedly shape its trajectory, ensuring that the struggles and triumphs of the 1970s remain integral to the city's ongoing journey of renewal and growth.